Welcome back to CountryCast, everybody. Make sure you hit that subscribe button with notifications on for the latest country music news. Now, Oliver Anthony is the man of the hour right now in country music, skyrocketing overnight, completely out of nowhere with this song, Men North of Richmond. That video was released onto YouTube. It was on TikTok, and it has been and continues to do unbelievable numbers on social media. And this is a testament to the country music fans. Over the years, we've seen them really latching on to independent artists, really making a point to support artists who are not signed to labels or people that they really relate to or have messages in their music that they resonate with. And for Oliver Anthony, when you listen to the lyrics of this song, it's clear that he's speaking to a lot of people who feel like their voices aren't being heard. A lot of working class folks who work their hands to the bone every single day and do not feel that their feelings and opinions are being represented well. And so that is why this song overnight has become the #1 song on earth. Unbelievable. Oliver Anthony is not signed to a label. He is a person who's just been working a job and singing from his heart. And I got to tell you, now there are a number of people who are alleging that he is some sort of an industry plant. And I met Oliver Anthony yesterday. I'm one of few people who have met him already, where he played a show at a farmer's market down in Currituck County, North Carolina, and it was incredible to see. And so unfortunately, there's a lot of people saying that he is an industry plant. I want to talk about what that is for those that are unfamiliar and how I feel about that assertion that he is an industry plant or whether or not he is. And so I want to say, first of all, an industry plant is someone that people feel a record label is secretly pushing. You know, sometimes you see artists, pop stars, or things that seemingly come out of nowhere and they're everywhere. Suddenly they're all over the news. Everybody's talking about them, etc. And so when you see someone like Oliver Anthony who comes from nowhere and suddenly is everywhere, you can imagine how people can feel, okay, is there more to the story here? And so I want to say I had the chance to speak very briefly to Oliver Anthony yesterday, and I do not believe, actually, that he is anything close to an industry plant. This was, for those of you who were there, and please, if you were there yesterday, folks, chime in the comments. This was a down-home country event at a farmer's market with Oliver Anthony showing up, walking up on stage with his dogs. Jamie Johnson was there. It was a real family-friendly atmosphere. And Oliver Anthony appeared to be genuinely in shock. Now, a couple things that struck me about this performance was, first and foremost, they made sure they were starting this show with the national anthem. In fact, they played it twice. There was a connection issue because so many people were there. So the crowd themselves, very patriotic crowd, just started shouting the national anthem. And then they played it again and everyone sang it. So Oliver Anthony came out to absolute pandemonium from people just days ago who didn't know him at all, didn't know who he was. And that is a testament to the words in his music and how much it resonates with people, you know, who just work so hard and feel like sometimes maybe they're reaching a dead end. And it's an emotional song for a lot of people, and it's a very powerful song. You've seen people like Joe Rogan talking about this. So many musicians are, you know, in his corner. And so I just want to, you know, talk about some characteristics that you might see from an industry plant and how that is really the opposite of what you're seeing with Oliver Anthony. Number one, Oliver Anthony is getting a lot of criticism. He's getting a lot of backlash from people who feel as though he is, you know, a hyper-partisan political person that's just writing music from a political lens. He is not being celebrated really in the mainstream as much. This is very much a movement of people that are pushing him. And so how do you see that? You see things like it's on iTunes where he's going to #1, which is people buying the song, not streaming the song. And we've all seen time and time again, folks like Tom McDonald, who people will go on and they'll buy their songs like crazy, independent. And, you know, that's what you're seeing here. You're not seeing, when you open up your streaming platform, an advertisement for Oliver Anthony. This is, he came across to me as a gentleman who is really just trying to figure things out as he goes. A person still trying to come to grips with the extraordinary circumstances he is living in. He's gotten hundreds of thousands of followers. People are saying, how did he get so many followers in such a short amount of time? This is just crazy. And to that, I would say, viral content is truly viral content. And in music, you can go unbelievably viral with a song that has a compelling message. And we saw this from an artist like Jason Aldean, who I'm sure a lot of you have respect for, but he is signed to a major label. And you look at what that song did, it resonated with a lot of people. So it really shouldn't be surprising that Oliver Anthony is also resonating with a lot of people, even though he's not signed to a label currently, and even though he, by every measure that I can observe as a person who pays attention to music, appears to be genuinely a small town fella who, sings his heart out on the guitar and is having a major moment and is still being criticized for that. You're not going to see this guy getting criticized by the mainstream in some ways. And he's not also being hated by the mainstream either. It's just, it seems like people are a little unsure of what to make of him, but he is really, the people are behind him of all different backgrounds. I saw at the Currituck County thing, it's people from all different backgrounds. You had people from the farms, you had people coming from cities, you had people, just a diverse group of people. You see Oliver Anthony getting up on stage, and before he started his performance, he was reading passages from the Bible. And I just got to say, you just don't really typically see that in the mainstream music industry. And so when you look at this gentleman, it really does appear that Oliver Anthony is the real deal, and he is just connecting with the large number of people. For now, he's independent. And it seems like folks are really loving that about him, and they're loving his message. And it just seems that he's fostering an audience of very patriotic people, very hardworking people that seem to view him as a messenger for how they feel. And I just think that has connected with people and been powerful. And, we'll see where Oliver Anthony goes from here. I'm very curious, for those of you checked out his other music as well, those songs are also going up the charts. We just haven't seen, we've seen some viral stars, but we haven't seen anything like this in a long time, which is actually pretty wild because country music right now is just huge. So this is very impressive. Oliver Anthony is resonating with a lot of people. To me, it does not look like he's an industry plant in any way. And we're independent here at CountryCast 100% over on Rockfeed as well. And so I'm very curious to hear y'all's thoughts. It seems like he's really connecting with people. And those were there in Currituck. Saw Jamie Johnson there, saw, all these families and everything coming out to see him in a very small town, not in a place that typically holds concerts of that size, where he was filling up dozens of acres. Dozens of acres on this farm were filled with cars. Traffic jams. I saw this. It's chronicled in another video on this channel, folks. And I just thought it was so fascinating. Oliver Anthony seems to be a star that's here to stay. And he seems to be a really good person who is trying to figure this life out, trying to figure this career out. And I think that there are a lot of people who are looking forward to hearing from him. Certainly, we would love to have Oliver Anthony, and we'll go to him and film a podcast if he's ever interested. And, I think people are really rooting for him. We're rooting for him here and excited to see, more of this in country music as independent artists are really starting to connect with people coming out of nowhere. You saw that with Zach Bryan as well. What a wave he's riding. We've seen this with so many wonderful artists over the last decade, but now it's really seemingly accelerating with folks like Oliver Anthony. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know again what you think in the comments. Hit that subscribe button for the latest news and updates here from CountryCast. We'll see you in the next update.